What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Postgame.
That was weird.
What's up, Joe?
That was weird.
Presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up.
What's the code?
CHGO.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome, sir. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. Big Dave is at Bow, BWL Sports. Will, the GOAT, Will_Gottlieb.
Adult.
Me.
Why did you just whisper adult?
He's been doing
I've
that.
been doing that.
Really?
You haven't noticed?
No, it's the first time I noticed.
You're too busy
Yeah,
introducing
you're too focused.
I got shit to do, all right?
Yeah,
He's the adult.
that's right.
I see. It's the first time I noticed it. Thought it was real creepy.
Good.
Follow our producer and our hero, Joey Spathis, on Twitter at Joey Spathis. We are CHGO_Bulls. The Bulls fall. What was the final?
A lot to a little.
A lot to a little.
Many to a few.
124-110. It didn't feel that close. It really didn't. That's coming on the heels of that ugly loss to the Nuggets. Ugly loss again tonight. You were in it at halftime.
Yeah.
We were thinking, okay, the Bulls are actually one of the best third quarter teams in the NBA so far this
Correct.
season. Maybe we'll get this thing on track in the third.
Yep.
Nope. Pelicans 9-0 run in like the first 4 seconds of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And it was over after that. Bulls didn't have a comeback in them. Send us your comments. This is a safe space. This
Yes,
is a
it
group
is.
therapy session tonight.
Come on in, guys.
I don't feel great.
It's donuts.
I feel
Do we have donuts?
opposite of great, and we don't even have any donuts to make it better. How are you guys doing? Because I'm struggling after watching that crap. Dave appears to be fine.
Because you ain't hearing
trying to
Will,
laugh
man.
our way through.
You ain't hearing Will.
He said donuts. I
He's
had to do the Stacey.
he's sneaking that shit in,
dashing
dog.
donut.
Like, he's sneaking it in, all right? He's sneaking it in. Aside from this, I'm just, full of joy all the time. But my happiness ain't there because I just saw my team get their ass whooped.
Full of joy, but no happiness.
No. You can't take my joy, but happiness, somebody can take from you.
Don't really know how that works, but
I'll allow
okay.
it.
Oh, it's a thing. Trust me. I'll break it down to you later. Don't worry.
Okay.
Because joy is something that is already in you.
Yeah,
You can't
okay.
take that. Happiness is something somebody gives you.
Yeah.
There's a difference. And they can give you happiness, and they took it from me. Look at somebody. I told you, Peck.
Hey, flat it up.
They get
Told
that.
me what? Told me what?
He told you the Bulls something about
He
the last
told me what
50.
their record was spanning last season, but
Yes.
part of it into this season, and that the team is trash and we should all give up hope like yesterday. Cool. Thanks for telling me that.
the last
Thanks for
58
reminding
games.
me that you told me that. Fuck out of here.
There it is.
That's for you.
Joey, there's one.
I got more hat throws for the Bulls tonight, but that first hat throw was for you, Fly the Dub. Get out of here with that crap.
He's got more to come.
I told you so.
We should do the Mario when you get the mushroom every time he throws when there's a new +1 hat counter. Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that
I
a
think we should
speed up?
incorporate that.
I'm just dropping hats left and right.
Yeah, it's all right. There's many more to come.
Oh,
But yeah, I think everything you said is exactly what I was going to talk about was that third quarter. Because, coming in down 5 at halftime, you're like, okay, you didn't play great. You know what I mean? They came out hot, they scored 32 in the first quarter. They came out hot, just blazing. And, they kind of I shouldn't say cooled off, but they slowed down in that second quarter. The Bulls kind of got their thing together as far as the bench is concerned. As usual is what we've seen. The bench comes in and everything kind of changes. We saw Drummond have an amazing dunk. That alley-oop
That was
from
wild.
Drummond was vicious
Crazy.
and truly, truly mean. And it was great to see. Took a nice lead and then couldn't hold that lead, but you go into their 5 points and you're like, okay, like you said, Matt, all right, they're one of the best third quarters. We know they struggle in the first. We know they struggle in the fourth. We talked about it in pregame. But in that third, we're like, okay, historically, as far as, I shouldn't say historically, but just everything we've seen this season, you're like, okay, this is a solid third quarter team. Let's get it going. 9-0 run right out the gate for the Pelicans, and that was the end. And that was it. And you're right. And Will talked about this often, how last year when the Bulls would have those moments and they would get down or some shot would happen, it wouldn't matter when it happened in the game, but one of those shots would happen and then you never see, they never recover. They just would kind of phone in or they just wouldn't recover. That's what it was after that 9-0 run. Honestly, it was like, okay, all right, we tried our best, guys. Not going to have it tonight. And it kind of ran away, man. And, yeah, it's getting old seeing that.
It was also, I think, to end the second quarter. You said that the Bulls have been a really good third quarter team all year, and that is absolutely true. They've also been really solid in the second quarter, and that last 2 or 3 minutes, Trey Murphy had 8 points. Zach tried to go for a 2-for-1, had a really bad turnover, and then an offensive foul. And I mean, that was like a 5 or 8 point swing there.
Yeah.
And the Bulls, I think, could have had a lead going into the half. Instead, they were down a few. And then, to your point, I mean, they start hemorrhaging points right from the gate. Billy has to call a timeout less than 100 seconds into the half. And yeah, you can start to chip your way back into it. But at that point, it's like the Bulls, my whole larger issue with the Bulls is that the way that they are built, it's very difficult to get themselves back into games. And it's also difficult to just hold leads when teams are spamming threes and getting to the free throw line. And
Right.
the Pelicans beat the Bulls in both of those areas. And the Bulls are trying to work around the fact that they don't have shooters on this team, right? They're trying to get to the free throw line. They're trying to do all these things. They're getting in transition. They're trying to get more stops. They're trying to get deflections, all this stuff. Great. But at the end of the day, you don't have shooting. That's going to be a problem at times. And this was a game where that really stood out.
Yeah.
I mean, you were kind of saying it with even in the third when they were trying to hang in there and all they're getting is just, okay, DeMar got a mid-range bucket.
Right.
Okay, DeMar got a bucket. But you're scoring two and not getting stops and giving up threes. I mean, Bruce in the comments, it's simple and maddening. Can't win in the NBA without shooters. This is nothing new. We've seen the Bulls be on the losing end of the three-point contest in many games so far this season. We talked about it in the offseason when that problem, which was apparent on last season's roster, was not addressed this offseason and knew it was going to very likely be a problem. Tonight, 11 of 32, but 4 of those 11 came in garbage time when the Bulls had lost this game.
Yeah.
Really, it was they were 7 for 20-something when the game was actually mattering. Pelicans, meanwhile, 17 of 33, which is bonkers. We were talking in pregame about how the Pelicans were 3 of 19 the first time these teams played a week ago.
Yeah.
One of the worst three-point shooting teams by rate and percentage in the league.
They're dead last in three-point attempted per game.
Yeah.
And it goes to show you don't have to shoot a ton. You just have to make some of them.
Yeah.
But
And
tonight
that's-
they took 33 and made half of them.
But even on top of that, real quick, they were just so unfired that guys like Herb Jones, who they said was 5 of 22 coming in from three. You know what I mean? Hit back-to-back three-pointers.
He was 2 for 2 tonight.
Hit back, and they were back-to-back.
Yeah.
Three-pointers.
Murphy,
man.
5 of 6. I mean, just unreal. Unfucking real. And look, yes, some of that is weird variance and rotten luck. I also saw plenty of Bulls not getting to closeouts and not fighting around screens to contest those threes tonight. And one I will call out, and I saw that Mark noticed it too. Mark put the clip up. Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine defensively, not there tonight. And I know that's not, some giant shocking headline for any Bulls fans who have been paying attention.
Right.
We know what Zach's limitations are on the defensive end. But effort is a different thing.
Correct.
Don't let me catch you not closing out because you don't feel like trying to close out when they are shooting the three that deadly. I mean,
deadly.
contest the damn three.
Murphy was on
You know
fire.
what? You know what's really fun though? On a night when the Bulls get absolutely trounced behind the three-point line, they also did a really good job of missing 8 million layups. How do you miss that many layups in one freaking basketball game?
That's 2.
Can't shoot threes. Can't make layups. Can't do a
coach.
damn thing.
And that's
Can't do it.
That's what I want to highlight though, because I think that's really the key here is if you're not going to be a shooting team, you have to make up for that in some other way. Like I talked about with transition, with getting to the rim, with getting to the free throw line. And they didn't do any of that tonight. And I think they get into these situations where, okay, Trey Murphy gets on an 8-0 run.
Right.
What do we do?
Right.
What can we do? What's the only thing that we're good at? Give it to DeMar and he'll
to
shoot
DeMar.
an elbow jumper. And
Right.
it's so difficult for him to bail them out of games when they're already down 10 or down 15.
Right.
Because he's not getting to the free throw line with as much regularity as he needs to
True.
when he's shooting those jumpers. Yes, he can get there, baiting guys into committing fouls or landing spot fouls, whatever. But that's not something you can rely on possession after possession. When he gets to the rim, he can get there. But when he just wants to get to his shot, that shot is at the elbow. And for as good as DeMar is, it's impossible to win when you're going for elbow jumpers and the other team is hitting a bunch of threes. It's a math problem.
And I know a lot of people, don't buy into the plus minus. I don't put all the stock in there. But there were only 2 Bulls that were plus tonight. Do you know who they were? Tony Bradley and Dalen Terry.
So garbage time.
That's it.
Garbage.
Your garbage time. Everybody else was a minus. Every single one was a minus. That's wild. You know what I mean? Like that's really wild.
What happens when you get worked front to back.
And I mean
from a whole
front
game.
to back.
From a whole game.
From start to finish. You know what I mean? From rooter to the tutor. That's how it goes, man. Southern stuff. I'll be breaking wheels.
Oh, dear.
Look, okay, I knew it was going to come out eventually. Scott in the comments will be the one that we honor with the comment. If you don't do anything well, it's on coaching. Is it all on coaching? Was Billy missing layups tonight?
Yeah, real talk.
Or was that his players?
Is he not getting out to the closeout? Like,
Did Billy organize this roster and not give him any more shooters to use? Or was that his bosses and this team's front office?
This is true.
Look, you can make certain fair criticisms of what Billy has and hasn't done through the first 15 games of this team's season.
I've done it.
Sure, we all have. But to say not doing anything right is on coaching after a game like that?
Yeah.
Like when your team isn't good at anything, what do you expect the coach to do?
Magically solve everything, Will.
Joey, will you put the link to Mark's story in the comments so people
seriously.
can
Y'all,
read that?
somebody
as
else
soon as
still
we're
needs to
done?
read that
Just click
very
the link
badly.
and then read it after the show.
And you'll feel better.
But again, the preparation element, some of that always to me comes back to coaching and is certainly partly on Billy. The other crazy part about this game, the Pelicans were playing in the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
We have been the most rested team in the NBA for the past week.
True.
We had the game against the Pelicans last Wednesday, off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, played in a stinker with 0 effort against the Nuggets Sunday, and then we're off Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
They've been off for a week with 1 game in the middle of it.
Yeah.
How did...
Toss it, Matt. Go ahead.
And in the third quarter, when you start to think, okay, maybe the Pels' legs are going to run down, maybe the Bulls can get into it, the Pels are getting second and third chance scoring opportunities because they're working on the boards and the Bulls aren't.
Yeah.
What about that makes sense?
To start the game in the first quarter, I believe they got 3 straight offensive rebounds.
Oh, a double throw.
No, just one.
Go back to the floor, Joey.
No, get that. You're not even going to get that one? Okay, all right. But I believe with the first 3 offensive rebounds of the game went straight to the Pelicans. And it wasn't Valanciunas. You know what I mean? I think he has just like one of them. And that was like the opening play, which was wild. You know what I'm saying? The opening play, offensive rebound, was an and one. Am I right about that? Wasn't it an and one from Valanciunas?
I believe so.
And, so from the beginning, the tone was set for the Pelicans and how they were going to do. The three-point shooting was, just added into that. But they already were outworking you and out-hustling you from the beginning. You know what I mean? And that's a terrible tone to have set for your team, man. I guess some changes are going to need to occur. When time you going, what was this, four straight games that they've lost?
3.
3 straight?
3, but they are 1-5 in their last 6.
Ooh, it's not fun. Not fun at all, man.
And it's hard to, we were kind of joking about this earlier, like at what point do we start talking about the standings? It's hard to like assign too much value into any one of these early November games.
Sure.
That's fine. I'm not going to like lose my mind because they lost, but it's the trends that we're starting to see move forward. And 1-5, I didn't realize that. Out of their last 5 or 1-5?
1-5 in their last 6.
Yeah, I mean that is not the path you want to be on. And
Thank you, Joseph.
yeah, I mean it's just we talked a lot about what does Billy want this identity, the identity of this team to be? What is it going to be? And right now I couldn't give you an answer because they got beat at the free throw line. They got beat on threes. They got beat in transition. They got beat. They lost the steals battle, the blocks battle. They had more turnovers. Like what do you point to and say,
rebounds.
I'm good at that? And it's DeMar shooting mid-range jumpers, which is exactly the problem that they ran into last year, and they couldn't solve their way out of it.
And the turnovers were why? Because I mean, it's one thing to have a turnover when you're playing hard or they just take it from you or something like that. The Bulls were giving it back. That play when
self-inflicted.
Yes, when Patrick Williams got that rebound, and instead of just going, he looked for DeMar to give him the ball, threw it right out of bounds. That's losing team stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not saying the Bulls are a bad team or losing like that, but that's what it looks like. That's exactly what losing teams do, is those kind of turnovers right there. We saw Herb Jones just outwork Zach LaVine for a steal. You know, you saw it. Like, he just outworked him, took it from him, went to the other floor. Alvarado just outworks them, period. That's all he does, is outwork them. Those cuts that he makes to the basket are things you do in high school. You know, this isn't, changing the wheel like he was coming from out of bounds or nothing. Him just saying, hey, my post player has the basketball. Let me cut to the basket. That is simple high school stuff right there. And he's just doing that, and he's getting there, and he's scoring. So they're not reinventing the wheel. I know they're a deep team and all those things, but it was very simple. It was like a simplistic thing they went in with, and they executed it normally. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, oh, my God. It's like when I talk about watching the Raptors or watching the Spurs, and you're seeing all that great execution happen on the floor and all these things. You're like, wow, look at that. That's amazing. It wasn't that. It was just really simple. It was like, hey, he's in the post. I'm going to the bucket. Here's the basketball, score. Hey, you're open for three. Here's the ball. Here's a rep screen, score. Like, it was simple things that the Bulls just couldn't overcome. And that's what's even more frustrating about it.
And that kind of makes me think about, like, whether the players believe in the system and the identity that they're trying to play to.
Okay.
I think they kind of let go of the rope there in terms of trust in the process at the end of last year. And it feels like they might be headed that way now too, just in terms of what you're saying. Like, these plays just devolve into Zach trying to create something out of nothing. Yeah. And, like, Zach can do that a lot of times, but that's not the most efficient form of offense. That's not going to win you a lot of basketball games. Same thing with DeMar. And so when you get into these situations, they need to be able to fall back onto something that they know they're good at. Yeah. And right now it's like Dragic in the second unit and DeMar mid-range jumpers.
Right. And that's not going to win it for you this season. It's not going to win it for you this year.
It won't. It absolutely won't. All right, let's take our first break here, then we'll get back and get to more y'all's comments. Bulls fans, we're all upset tonight, and we can all be here for each other. I see we got some super chat action, so we will get to those immediately following this ad break. While we're reading y'all some ads from our friends and sponsors, do us a favor and hit that thumbs up button.
Do it.
I know it's a rough night, but the thumbs up button is still just right there.
It's your friend.
Just so easy to click.
Look at it. Look how perfect it is.
Joey, do we have our DraftKings king of the game? I feel like it has to be DeMar. There you go. DeMar DeRozan, usual self. 28. Just a quiet 28. But 11 of 15. Also dished out 7 assists.
Go ahead, Will.
This is like the paradox of the Bulls. DeMar is so good at what he does.
Right.
I don't want that to be lost in my message here. Like, look at this man.
Yeah.
He is so freaking good.
Hey, everyone.
He is so good.
Come see how good this man looks.
But, like, sometimes it's not like to the Bulls' detriment, but when that's all they have, like, teams need to be more than one-dimensional.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But, God damn, that guy's good.
He's good,
Seriously.
man. He's good.
Look at this man.
Look at this man.
There is your
in all his glory.
DraftKings Sportsbook king of the game. It's DeMar DeRozan. He's won that award many times already this season.
Yes.
Won't be his last either.
Will not.
Also, DraftKings pick of the week. We usually do that Tuesdays, but you guys had an HQ. Okay. And you HQers, I don't know if you've been, hitting up that DraftKings yet, but I feel like you are slacking on it.
Slacking in the macking.
Unofficial.
You made some unofficial picks.
I made some suggestions.
Okay, I see. Well, I'm looking at tomorrow's NBA slate. Only a few games, but some fun ones. So my pick of the week, we got Blazers Nets.
Okay.
Blazers home favorites, but not huge. -2.5. Taking them to cover.
Smart man.
Taking them to cover.
Okay.
Kevin Durant's really good at basketball.
Yeah.
We still are not expecting Kyrie back yet tomorrow night's game.
Right.
There was news today that he's maybe getting closer to resolving all of the Kyrie mess.
And then Kevin Durant talking crazy.
Right. And then they also, did you see that latest report of them being like, we're not sure if Ben Simmons is A, good at basketball, or B, cares about basketball.
Right.
And those of us who have been paying attention, like, are you just now figuring that out, Brooklyn
Well, it's also
Nets?
like you guys have Kyrie on your team. You don't need to focus on Ben right now.
Right.
The drama does not need to be directed this way.
Yeah. So look,
bad.
you know, theoretically, if
bad.
you look at those teams on paper, you're really like, oh, Nets. But
You can
these
save
Blazers,
that
though.
one for later when things aren't working. You can keep that in the back pocket.
That's tough. You don't even want that in your back pocket. That's tough. That's tough.
You got to save the criticism. To spread it out. Spread it out over the course of the season.
Man, they got a lot going on.
This is
They got a lot
NBA
going on.
media coverage 101.
Okay,
Give
thank
yourself something to talk about when you're really bad late in the season.
That's the GOAT right there with the Bonnie Raitt. Let's give them something to talk about.
One of the things that they will have going on tomorrow is
Yeah,
losing
I did
to the
that. I did that,
Blazers
Will. Come on.
by at least 3.
Thank you, sir.
Blazers minus 2.5. There's my pick of the week from DraftKings Sportsbook.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Blazers. Give us that draft pick.
It's November 16th and we're already there.
Already
We're already
working on
there.
it. Already
Already
working
there.
on it.
right.
Make sure you're signed up with that promo code CHGO on DraftKings Sportsbook. Check out those amazing DraftKings stepped up same game parlays where you can boost your winnings up to 100%.
Yeah.
Plus that amazing $5 NBA moneyline bet that will earn you $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code CHGO.
It's a Fergie and Jesus. Yes. Classics.
I have been called the songbird of my generation.
Right. Joey, what time is it?
It is game time. Who? I thought you were asking for real.
Yeah, I know. He eased his way.
It gets
It's like he tipped his
9:51.
tiptoe a little bit.
9:51. Why?
He said 9:51.
Bulls definitely did not get the game time memo.
They didn't. Joey got it late.
It
but
was
he hit
game time, and the Bulls were like, "Oh, for real? Shit!"
Joey,
Game time,
Joey
who?
got it. There you go, Joe. It's the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. It's the Game Time app. Because I know that you have dreamed of sitting at that 50-yard line to watch Justin Fields be amazing. I know you want to sit courtside and watch DeMar get buckets. We know you want to sit behind home plate. You want to sit there. And you want to watch either the Cubs or White Sox do what they do. What the hell? Come on, White Sox. Do not let Tony La Russa back. Please, Lord Jesus, Lord. Why are they talking about this dude's going to be in spring training too? Why? I'm sorry. I'm getting off track. No. I'm getting off track. Nope. Focus. Floor seats at the concert. Do you want to go see Taylor Swift? Did you sit in that line for 4 hours online trying to get yourself some Taylor Swift tickets?
You know I did.
I know Matt did. Well, I'll tell you what, everything is possible with the Game Time app, y'all. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. You won't find better deals this season to see the Chicago Bulls. You just won't. And just like CHGO, it is created by the fans for the fans, and it guarantees you, your beautiful self, the lowest price possible. So if you love CHGO, and we know that you do, then you'll love Game Time. And the best way to support us is, first of all, hitting that thumbs up right there. Hit that right there.
Quick trigger. Trigger.
Quick on the
Thumbs
draw.
combined.
Quick draw.
Captain Bloody.
That's yeah. Yes. Do that. Hit the like and then buy your tickets through the description in that link, y'all. 15 million people. Join them. They have all downloaded the Game Time app and scored the best seats to all their favorite events. And guess what? You can too. Will, what time is it?
Game time?
Why? Why did that deserve a hat?
I wanted to time the hat throw with the hoop.
Okay, all right.
I got a fresh stack of hats here, Dave.
Oh, he gave you a whole stack?
I got a Joey stack of hats.
All right, that was another hat throw, Joey.
I got to work my way through them.
He tossed them. He tossed one. All right.
Huge Wolves fan. Me, this guy right here.
They've been champions for
Calder Cup champs.
every year, man. They always win. What, they have 3 of those? Mm-hmm. They always win.
Diving back into y'all's comments, keep them coming. We'll get to as many as we can.
Smash.
We got a super chat from our pal Alex who said, "I'm not sure if it's just me, but doesn't it seem like Zach has been turning on the switch to score when it's too late, and that needs to change?" I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know
think
about that.
in maybe some of these games, yes, it certainly seems like Zach has been a little hesitant at first, but tonight he seemed aggressive in looking for shots and also trying to get to the rim What is a bigger issue for me with Zach, and I'm curious what you guys think,
Okay.
is that he seemed to be forcing it recently in a way that isn't quite right. Like, he's trying to compensate for the fact that he is not his fully athletic self right now, and that is obvious. Was nice to see him flying above the rim for that one dunk tonight.
That was.
We've started to see a few more of those recently, but it's like it's old Zach, and by that I mean younger Zach, where he's forcing it into like 2 or 3 defenders trying to draw a foul, frustrated when he doesn't, and he misses a layup. That's shit that I thought Zach got better at than being 2 years ago, and we're seeing more of it this season. That's what worries me.
That is exactly what I thought. Like what you just said, like the old Zach. Like it just really reminds me of that. Bulls down by 40 and Zach just trying to do anything to help this team wins. Dribble, you know, off his leg, or I'm going to shoot this tough three, and maybe hit it. I'm going to go to the bucket on 4 people and try to score. It seems like a lot of that, but without all of the athleticism, because he's not all the way back yet. When he gets to the bucket, Will, like, and maybe I don't have a name for it, but when he gets to the bucket, he just keeps doing the same move. Like, I don't know the name of the move, but it's like that little drag step and going up. And it's not going up with any kind of anything. It's just, I'm going up, you know, with 2 hands, and I'm a yell, and hopefully I get a foul call. You know what I mean? That's all you keep seeing him do, and it's not working. And I don't know how to get him out of that, because it's like he's like, I don't have it yet with my athleticism, so what do I do here once I get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Zach is going to say he's fine, that he feels good, that his legs are, you know, just still getting there. Like, he's never going to admit that he is in a lot of pain. We saw this all last year, and so far this year it's been more of the same. So it's hard to, like, really say what % he's playing at, what, like, where his vertical is relative to where it should be, you know, if he was fully healthy. So I don't even really know what to make of that. But I do think the comment was confusing when it said turning it on late in games. I think what I think is happening there is that he's starting to force it later in games.
Okay.
Earlier in games, I think he's playing within the flow of the offense, especially in that second unit. You don't see him really trying to just put the pedal to the floor quite as much.
Right.
He plays within the flow. He got a couple of nice back cuts. He got a transition layup. Had that dunk where he slapped the backboard.
That nice reverse.
And then was coming off a screen and found Caruso for an open layup. He came off a screen and hit a 3. Mm-hmm. Like, he's playing within the flow of the offense and doing it at a really high level. And this is actually something I'm gonna have in my recap story. Just watching CJ McCollum and the way that he played and operated off the ball. I really want to see more of that from Zach, because I think it really maximizes his skill sets and takes away some of the things that he's not so good at, where he has to create an advantage out of nothing. Now he can just come off a screen. His defender's on his hip already. Now it's easy to see, oh, I got a 4-on-3. Here's the open man. I don't have to, like, create a passing lane for somebody.
Right.
Or I got a lane going downhill by myself because my guy's on my hip. Like, I can just go. So I really want to see Zach just operate more off the ball. I think that's where he's at his best. And then, as you're saying, late in games, he starts to force it. He starts to dribble ISO. He puts his head down. He doesn't see the floor as well. Mm-hmm. It's not really, like, within any flow of offense. It's just, I'm going to ISO and dribble 15 times and then pull up into a 3, or try to do what you're saying and just, like, attack the basket and yell like I got fouled and see if I get a call.
Frustration in the comments, y'all. And I'm frustrated tonight too. I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of discourse about Billy Donovan in the comments, trying to highlight what he is responsible for versus what the players are responsible for. Mm-hmm. I see people in the comments asking, has Billy lost this locker room? Mm-hmm. Care to take a stab at answering that question?
No.
Will,
do you think it's possible for Billy to have lost this locker room?
I don't think so, just because he's such a player's coach.
Correct.
That, like, I don't think he's ever gonna, like, nobody's gonna turn on him. What I think, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, what I think could be going on is that they're not quite bought into this system that that Billy wants them to play to, and maybe that is kind of same. But yeah, I think watching them, the way that the game has devolved a little bit over the course of the season, and Billy would be the first to admit, and I 100% agree with him, that last year he's just trying to find ways.
Yeah.
You get Lonzo's out, Zach is not playing at his best. Vooch can't hit a 3 to save his life. Caruso's missing time. Derek Jones has got a thumb injury. Like, all these guys are out. What do? You say, what can we do? What are we good at? All right, DeMar, go score 35.
Right.
Thank you, because that's all we can do.
Right.
And this year, he recognized that. I think the team recognized that they cannot just fall back on that again.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, as I talked about with Zach, just starting to force things late in games, I think he, at a certain point, allows himself to start playing that way. I think the Bulls allow themselves to fall into that same trap of DeMar, just go bail us out. And I don't think anybody actually wants that to happen, but at a certain point in a game, when you're down 15, it's like, well, what do you do?
And I think there's a difference between losing the locker room and not believing in what you're running. And with Billy, I think if they're not believing in what they're running and then they just want to change it to get better, that's different. Losing the locker room means I don't care what you change it into. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't running anything that you talking about, period. That's why I'm like, no. Like, that's what I'm like, he's not losing that locker room specifically for what Will just said. He is a player's coach. That's what he is. That's what he does. Now, you can tell he's getting frustrated just by looking at the hair that's growing on his face and the way he's chewing that gum. You can see that he is getting damn frustrated with this because he's got facial hair that looks like he's got a drinking problem. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what it looks like. You know, that dad that's just like, I'm going to lose the house. Throw it back. That's the facial hair on Billy Donovan right now. He's frustrated. And the team looks frustrated. We saw not Zach. We saw DeMar come out that game in that fourth quarter. Matt Peck snapping. You know what I mean? He was Peck angry.
He was pissed.
He was Peck angry.
If he were wearing a hat, he would have
thrown it like that.
Another one.
That's what you should put up there, Joey, is a picture of DJ Khaled saying another one. Like doing like this.
I veto that idea.
You just don't like fun.
But I love.
I love fun. I don't like DJ Khaled.
There's another one back on.
There's another one, but it's perfect.
That man needs a pillow for his feet sitting courtside NBA game.
Wasn't that hilarious?
That is not my man.
That was funny.
Kind of works though because it's for your anger segment, so that's like you're gonna be pissed anyway.
So he's gonna be pissed anyway, right?
No. You know the real reason I don't like DJ Khaled.
I don't remember actually why you don't like DJ.
It's something.
Is it his basketball skills?
Well, no one should like him for his basketball skills because they're not existent.
Okay.
No, it's when he admitted in that interview that thing he doesn't do.
Oh,
you remember what I'm talking about?
That's why you hate him?
Yeah. That's not a real.
Come on.
That is not a real man right there.
That is not a reason to hate him.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
I certainly don't respect him.
Okay, that's fair, but you don't gotta hate him for it. That's just what he does.
Between that and not really caring about his music at all. But that.
You know, he just got nominated for a Grammy for his album.
Good for him.
Just telling you. Just
wow.
I don't think he should have. I'm just telling you. But, sorry, Will.
He can win Grammys, but he can't do that?
Come on. No, let it go.
I wish I knew what you guys were talking about.
No, you don't. You do not. You do not.
We can continue that conversation on a CHGO Bulls After Dark episode.
Yes.
Wait, I really want to know what DJ Khaled did, too.
No, you don't.
You're too young, Joe.
You don't. You know.
Okay, so Shaq in the comments asking an interesting question, saying, I'm curious what y'all think Lonzo will be able to do for us when he comes back. Because there were people in the comments saying, hey, man, this is an injured team. Some others saying injuries aren't excuses. I will say this, and I know our guy Mark K is not a huge believer in Lonzo being a fix-all for this team and not being that important of a piece to this team.
Yeah.
I still disagree with that. I still think that Lonzo Ball is the best two-way player on this roster. You know what he can bring you with the three-point volume and efficiency.
Yeah.
Everyone in the comments is talking about how this team's offense is so damn slow. You know who would speed it up? Lonzo Ball. And we talk about the flawed defensive players on this roster, including some of the best offensive players, whether it be Zach or DeMar or Vooch. It's the same story, people. You know who was masking lots of their mistakes last season when he was on the floor? Lonzo freaking Ball. I'm not sitting here trying to convince you guys that Lonzo Ball is a fix-all, but him not being here really effing matters.
Yeah.
Because you saw the Bulls making the best of some, slightly flawed pieces of a puzzle when they jumped out to that crazy record last year. People who think it's a coincidence that they fell off a cliff when he got hurt, I don't know what What did Lonzo need to prove to you with what he did when he was playing versus what they look like when he wasn't playing to still wonder why they need him?
Yeah.
This is why they need him. A team that can't shoot threes, doesn't play great defense, and can't get any pace going offensively. I just told you the 3 best things that Lonzo Ball does.
Uh-oh. He can't even,
A swing and a miss.
A whiff. He whiffed it. He whiffed that throw. Oh, yeah. That's because his arm hurts. The man has been throwing hats since 7 p.m. You're like, come on, what do you want from him, people?
He's going to walk out of the studio with one of those giant ice bags that pitchers wear.
Like an aging Kobe Bryant in the 2000 team.
Oh, yeah, right. Just wrapped in ice. Oh, my goodness.
I knocked it off my head.
It's literally behind him, literally. There you go. Because he's tall, he can reach back and get that. That was. And he has 2 on his head because, both of them are going to go flying anyway. So, yeah, it's what it is.
Ugh.
But he's right. I mean, Lonzo vastly important to this basketball team. I don't think anybody is debating that. You know what I mean? He is incredibly important. What I always agree with Marquet on was saying if Lonzo's the reason you're not winning and the reason your team is, then you have other issues. There's bigger issues at hand here, if that's the case. But the Bulls need him. This is a fact. And just things need to calm it down, need to relax it. And Lonzo's good at those kind of things. But I still think they have other issues. You know what I mean? Lonzo solves a lot, but they definitely have some other issues out there, man.
Right. He doesn't solve everything.
Yeah.
One was not trying to say that. I
Yeah.
just he's a very valuable piece that
Correct.
you clearly notice they're missing right now.
Incredibly valuable. Incredibly valuable. But, man, they need more. Like, it's something else like that must help. I don't know if they have it on the team. I don't know if they have it on the bench or not, but they've got to make some changes, Will. 3 in a row with how they've looked, and even just in games that they've played that they might have pulled out victories in, we still were like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Didn't inspire, like, you were like, oh, man, okay, team, let's go. We got it right here. It didn't inspire that.
I do think this is a period of time where, and I want to be clear that I'm not talking about blaming Billy, but I'm just curious to see what his response is going to be, because the knock on him in previous stops is that he isn't as good at making adjustments. Now, I know
Yes, that was
those
one of
have
my
been
knocks.
specific to like playoff matchups, right?
Yep.
Like over the course of a playoff series, you've got to change what you're doing to adjust, and
Correct.
whoever adjusts better is going to win that series. But like we've now seen, 3 in a row games where it just has not been good. That's only 3 games over the course of a season.
Correct.
Over a course of a season,
Long
it's
season.
it's a progression from what we saw last year. I know the record does not,
Yeah.
doesn't like lead into this year.
Yeah.
But is there going to be something that changes? Maybe it's a lineup thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a style of play thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, back to the Lonzo question, like we cannot wait around for Lonzo, even if he was going to be this savior, which I 100% don't agree with. We've seen how long it's taking Zach to get back from a very similar, if not same procedure. Okay. Lonzo's missed almost a year of basketball. They're not going to just throw him in there and let him play 36 minutes and let him shoot 42% on 7 threes. That's just not how it's going to work. He's not going to be the same player that he was. They're going to have to ease him into it.
Sure.
Of course he helps. He's an elite defender. He's an elite shooter, and he's an elite ball mover. All things that the Bulls need, to your point, Matt. But, they've also got bigger problems.
Right. And I think the fair criticism, or at least question, when it comes back to Billy, because that is the thing that everyone in Bulls fandom wants to talk about right now, is, you're missing an important piece.
Yeah.
That being Lonzo. What in this stretch of games from when he went down last season to now with a similar roster, other than throwing, Drummond and Dragic into the second unit rotation this season, has Billy done to counteract or change the strategy not having said important piece?
But I think that's the important distinction. This is like where the maybe you're just going to get to this, but this is like where the difference of opinion starts.
The fork in the road.
Fork in the road. Thank you. And like, to me, it's clearly a roster flaw. You cannot just say, start shooting a bunch of threes. We saw what happened in the Bucks series. They shot 50 threes in a game. That did not go very well because they don't have shooters. The Bulls do this now, and Io steps on the sideline driving instead of shooting a wide open catch and shoot three.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think that's kind of where there's a disconnect between Bulls fans right now who are disagreeing on whether or not Billy is the main problem, the crux of this team's slow 6-9 start.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you in that it is a roster construction problem, and that these adjustments that some Bulls fans want to see Billy make with the pieces he has at his disposal aren't quite there.
Yeah,
and you know, like our guy Mark, I saw Mark, you pointed out in the comments that this team's 3-point rate was still pretty darn bad when Lonzo was healthy and playing.
Yeah.
And that their defense was middle of the pack when he was healthy and playing. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Joey. That's the comment I was alluding to. So, yeah, okay.
Breathe.
It's a flawed roster. I don't really know what some Bulls fans want Billy to be doing differently right now, other than some suggestions I've heard, which are like, start Drummond instead of Vooch. Or I did see someone in the comments tonight, Dave, suggest
shoot less threes. That'll help.
maybe swapping Io back to the second unit. Do you want to address that?
Yeah, I saw that too. It's not something I'm against, only because when I've seen Dragic in for the limited time that he's been in, it's probably been 3 minutes like total when the 2 games that I've seen him in. I just like the way the ball moves. Again, incredibly small sample. It was just the fact of I like the way the ball actually
You're talking about
moved.
Dragic with the starters?
Yes, when Dragic was in with the starters. Because when he got it, Dragic moves pretty well without the basketball. And when that was happening, things happened differently for the team when somebody's constantly moving and actually being a threat out there. And also, Dragic's three-point shooting has been on point this season. And you need shooters. And the Bulls need that drastically out there. They need that three-point shooter. And the other reason is I know Io is strong enough mentally to where if something like that happened, he's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I don't like it, you know what I mean? But he's strong enough mentally to handle stuff like that, you know what I mean? Now, he's going to still have, in my opinion, opportunity to continue to grow and get better within the starting lineup. Because, again, he got off to a really great start. He really did. He got off to a really excellent start. And I thought he did some things early on in this game that I really, really enjoyed, like that move he made on McCollum when McCollum thought a pick was coming and Io just went straight to the bucket and hit him with that layup. Like, it's great. But for me, it was just the shooting. You know what I mean? It was just the shooting that's off and the ball movement when Dragic is in. Because you see Dragic when he comes in with that second unit, the main thing they do is move the ball very well. And that's how it works. And it looked even better, especially when guys like Caruso are hitting threes. So it looked a little bit better as well with that. But, yeah, again, like I continue to say about Billy, he's never been beholden to any lineup, period. And so, yeah, if they've never been beholden to any lineup, he'll try anything to see if it works. You know what I mean? If it works, cool. If it don't, cool.
Yeah, the lineups with Dragic, LaVine, DeRozan, and Vooch, and then one of the power forwards, whether it's Caruso going small, Javante, Io going small. So lineups with the big three of Zach, DeMar, and Vooch alongside Dragic are plus 25.3. So really good, but super small sample, only 32 possessions.
Yeah.
So the only time I can actually really remember seeing that lineup is to close the game last Wednesday against the Pelicans.
Yes.
And I believe it was Caruso in there. Yeah, I really like that. I think the trade-off, though, is, you have DeMar, you have Zach, you have Vooch. Like, the ball needs to go through one of those three.
Yeah.
And so when you have Dragic in there, the reason that second unit is so good is he's the one that's facilitating. He's getting the ball ahead in transition. He's hitting those passes. He's getting, guys easy lobs in pick and roll with Derek Jones and Javante and with Drummond. And if you take him out of that lineup, yeah, the second group probably suffers, but does it balance out with how much more that would help the first unit? And I'm not sure, to be honest, because you're taking the ball out of DeMar and Zach and Vooch's hands. Now, maybe that would help exactly what I'm talking about, where the Bulls' first option, second option, third option is all DeMar.
Right, correct.
Does bringing Dragic in there help you? And based on the super small sample, it looks like it does.
But I think that offense is kind of structured to somebody who can get everybody in their position and move better without the basketball, because that's honestly Lonzo.
Yeah.
So I think there's structure to that kind of thinking, that kind of way. And if that's not out there, then they're like, well, give me the ball, I'm taking over. You know what I'm saying?
And that's something that Billy has talked about a lot over the past week, which is really coaching up Io and helping him understand the progressions as a point guard. And we were kind of talking about this before, where a lot of times he'll enter the ball on the wing and then go stand in the corner.
Yeah.
And understanding how to initiate different sides of the offense, different sets within it, attack different matchups, understand where the defense is starting and where to initiate based on that.
Yeah.
This year, and what I really appreciate about Dragic is I feel like he's given me a new understanding and appreciation for the importance of a true point guard.
Point guardsmanship?
Some point guardsmanship on this roster, you might even say. Because in the past, it's like, well, get Kobe and Zach out there, and they'll score and make something happen.
Yeah.
Let's get Chris Dunn out there. Let's teach him how to be a point
Lord.
guard. And it doesn't.
Whoa.
But this is what I'm saying. It doesn't work that way.
Short-circuited my brain, Will.
All right. Like, let's get Shaq Harrison out there.
Oh.
Let's get Sean Kilpatrick. It doesn't,
why
it
do you
doesn't
hate us?
work
No.
that way.
Yeah, for real.
No.
Yes, come on. Go ahead, Will.
It doesn't work that way. You need somebody who's really good at it to do that. And I feel like I'm seeing the benefits of that for the first time in years with Dragic. And so, yeah, maybe that is something that you look at. I think the defense would suffer without Io, but in the starting group. But maybe it's Patrick who comes out and Io stays in, you go small. Maybe it's Caruso and Dragic, the way that this one unit was really good. So I don't know, but it does feel like we're nearing the point where whether it's a rotation or something stylistically needs to change, because I mean they're 1-5 in their last 6. That's not very good.
I do like the fact that they're 6-9. Like, honestly, when I speak about them, it feels like I always have to check the record.
It is the best
what
sub
I'm saying?
500 record you can have.
I'm just saying, I always have to check it and be like, are we 4-11? Like, oh no, we're 6-9. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right, 6-9. I'll breathe a little bit easier, but this is why we're saying all this, because we realize it ain't good. You know what I'm saying? So we realize things have to change, and they definitely have to play better, man, because just your schedule and anything you play, and we talked about this before the season, I don't care who it is that you're playing. Like, no game's going to be easy this season. We saw how hard the East is, man. We know how hard the West is. Nothing's going to be easy, man. So that's just what it is, bro.
All right, we'll get to a few more of your comments
Bendy, you're right.
to wrap up tonight's show in just a minute. One more quick break for our friends and sponsors. While we do that, hit that thumbs up button. We got 230 plus watching on YouTube. Give us some of them thumbs.
Some of them thumbs.
Dave, tell the folks about the Rays that are shady.
The Rays that are shady. You know what? I'm so glad you said that. Joey, let me talk to you for a second. I know you get upset, Joey. And I know this. And I know you get upset, because sunglasses are so damn expensive. I've seen it in your eyes. You get upset. You say, damn it, I'm tired of paying this money for these sunglasses, right?
You can usually see it in my eyes when I'm not shielded with world-class, optical clarity.
This is my point, man. You know who else feels like you, Joey? Shady Rays. They feel that way. And they say, you know what? We're tired of Joey having to break the bank to get these glasses. We're going to give him some premium polarized shades featuring that world-class optical clarity, sustainable durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle.
Tay.
Oh, Shady Rays, baby. The best part about it, they got the most insane protection program around, y'all, in all of eyewear. And I like to call it the Matt Peck Lost and Broken Replacements Plan. If you lose or break your shades on day one, you know what they told us? They said, Matt Peck, you going to get yourself a brand new pair. All right, that's 2 whiffs for Matt. You're getting out of control now, Matt. All right? You're getting out of control here.
Don't worry.
Out of control.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, don't worry. It's going to be all right. But anything that happens to them, day one, they will replace them for you. 200,000 5-star reviews. That is what Shady Ray has from their customers, man. Just a wonderful, wonderful company that also provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed, and have donated over 20 million meals to date. That is something awesome and amazing. So here's something exclusive for all the listeners out there. Shady Rays is one in their deepest deal of the season. Use that code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more pairs at ShadyRays.com. That is a buy one, get one free. Matt Peck, what they call that?
BOGO.
That's a BOGO for the Lolo, a 54 for show. Redeem only at ShadyRays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades at Shady Rays, where the rays are shady.
Today's episode also brought to you guys by our friends at FOCO. Chicago, we've got you covered for the best coverage of your favorite teams. So get fitted out in the best sports gear around with FOCO. FOCO has you covered from Soldier Field to the Madhouse, from the north side to the south side, with hoodies, slippers, signs, bobbleheads. You hear that, Jake? Bobbleheads.
Stay away, Jake.
Everything in between. Get decked out like DeMar with apparel from the leader in sports merch and collectibles. That's FOCO. Looking for the perfect gift for the football fan in your life?
I am.
FOCO's got you covered.
Shut up.
With hoodies that fight that Lake Michigan breeze. We were at the Bears tailgate this past Sunday.
Oh, there were breezes.
Layers were needed. Felt good. We just drew names for our family Secret Santa like a couple days ago, so I know who I have now.
Okay.
I'm going right to FOCO.
You know right to what to do.
Right to FOCO.com. Check out their amazing inventory. That's FOCO.com. And if you use promo code CHGO when you check out, you're going to get 10% off that order.
10.
So what are you waiting for?
Do that.
FOCO.com.
Ugh.
The way Big Dave drinks death makes me want to try some death. I like that. I like people are just calling it death. Yeah, I'd like to try some
I
death.
like the fact that I am inspiring people to drink water.
When we were
best.
when we were about to start our show with Io the other day, I was walking over with my death, and he goes, "What do you know about death?"
He did. What you know about
I was
that?
like, "I don't know, man. I just have it in the fridge."
You know about that, young fella? That's how he hit you with it. What you know about
What you
that?
know about
Oh,
death?
my
What you know about
goodness.
death, man. Murder your thirst.
Murder your thirst. As opposed to obey your thirst.
As opposed to
which
obey
was
it.
a Sprite tagline,
That
right?
is correct.
They're
Don't
going
obey
the
it.
opposite direction.
No.
Don't obey
Don't
it.
obey it.
Murder it.
Stab it in the face.
In the face.
Birds.
All right, y'all. It's clearly a Billy Donovan night in the comments. Shout out to our guy Mark K, who is
Mark K.
fighting in favor of those of us who believe in sanity and watching basketball games with our eyeballs. Because there's somebody in the comments named JoJo who's saying, like, I'm so
JoJo.
sick of Billy not making any adjustments. Didn't make any adjustments. He's been here for 3 years. Didn't make any adjustments. Mark K comes flying in saying his rotations changed tonight. He played new lineups which haven't been together.
Correct.
They went to the zone defense when man wasn't working.
Correct.
Was that enough adjustments for you? And then Mark just said, watch the game. Now look,
This is Mark. This GIF
At
every
times.
every
Joey,
post
that's exactly what I was thinking. too.
every single post game show.
yeah,
Exactly what I was thinking, Joey.
Come on.
it's true, or at least in my opinion, it's true, and Mark is on the correct side of that. At least for tonight being an example, because I'm with sometimes from game to game or in games, I can be frustrated with Billy not making the adjustment I want him to make. That is valid.
Yeah.
Tonight, he tried a bunch of different stuff.
He did.
And nothing worked. And then I also saw, where did that other great comment go? Where did it go?
Show yourself.
Yes, it was. I
That was
found
from
it.
Joe the Blacksmith.
Joe the Blacksmith, who said, you can't adjust for being undersized. You can't adjust to being bad at shooting threes. You can't adjust for needing to play fast when your best player is at his best when he slows down. All astute points, Joe the Blacksmith.
These are all
Thank
facts.
you for taking time out of your busy blacksmithing day to hang out with us here on Bulls Postgame and shed some light and some wise points.
I think this is actually a great question here.
Sure.
Drew, how should us real Bulls fans feel after the last couple weeks of the Bulls performance? Please advise, LOL. You guys are real Bulls fans.
Sure.
You guys are acknowledging there are reasons to be concerned.
Yeah.
Tell the people how they should feel.
I think right there, Joey. I mean, there are reasons to be concerned. I don't think it's time to jump off of a ledge or anything like that.
going.
It's
Again,
not time to throw a hat or
it's not time to throw a hat. Your team is 6-9.
Nice.
So you should still be chilling a little bit. You know what I mean? But you should still, know what you're looking at. You know what I mean? And be like, okay, well, this is the issue. This is the issue. This has to be resolved. You shouldn't be ready to just destroy everything and throw it all out. So, yeah, you should be concerned. You could be upset. I mean, you see this place is littered with hats over here. It's right to be upset when your team is losing like that, and they don't look good when they're losing that way. But being 6-9 and knowing that it's early in the season and I'm getting this done now is one of the reasons why I have I'm chilling right now, because I saw what it looked like last season to get off to an incredible start and then fizzle out at the end, and that sucked much worse than this. Real talk.
Yeah, but it also kind of feels like, I don't know if I'm just reading into it too much, but it feels like they're almost banking on, well, last year it was really good and then really bad. So maybe if we're really bad at the start of this year, ipso facto, we'll be really good at the end of next year.
I won't believe that that's the strategy.
I
hear
some sound logic there, William.
I think that's what we need to be careful
Cotton.
about. There are real issues with this team. We've laid them out here tonight and other times.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, this team is not going to win a championship. I don't think anybody thinks that they're on that level. But to see them stagnating or getting even worse, I think, is a reason to be upset. That's totally allowed. We also, we do need to give them time to try to sort this out.
Sure.
And to your point, Dave, they have time to do that, right?
Yeah.
This isn't like the last 15 games of the year when they're just realizing Lonzo's not going to come back.
Right.
Like, they have time to work through this. Now, it might not be a lot of time, because as the way the East sort of shakes out, teams could really pull away. But I think they really only have one. Like, they've set their direction. They're not gonna blow it up and tank.
Right.
Like, they're going for it here, and they just need to continue to work through some of this stuff. And there's gonna be growing pains. That's just the case. I mean, this is not the Warriors. This is not the Suns or like any of these elite teams, the Celtics, whoever. Teams take time to grow through stuff, and I think that's what you have to hope for.
As far as the question of how Bulls fans should feel, I think for the most part you guys are right on. Scott in the comments said you have to have urgency. The playoffs are slipping further away nightly.
Whoa,
Scott, let me tell you two facts right now. Let me tell you two facts. The Bulls are currently 2 games back of the 6th and final avoid the play-in playoff spot. 2 games back. 67 to go.
Damn.
2 games back. 67 to go.
So you're saying there's a chance.
2 games back. 67 to go. Think about that.
Just relax a little.
Wyatt, Big Dave, Wyatt wants me to remind you that Laurie is home.
It's a fact.
We all know this.
Yes.
Big Dave is the first person to tell us all this before you even played a single
This is true.
game with Utah.
Big Dave saw all of this coming.
Well,
All of it. It's true. He's been saying it for months.
Well, I do think I needed to just give Scott in particular a big fat chill pill with that take. Urgency, the playoffs are slipping away, dude. It's fucking November. I will say, my answer, my version of that answer of that question, I feel however you want to feel.
How do you feel, though?
I feel worried. I'm not going to lie. That we thought that we saw the flaws of this roster when we talked about this team all off season.
Yeah.
Gearing up for this season, and some of the flaws of this roster are right there staring us in the face.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
They are who we thought they were. And look, we all thought they would be somewhere around a 500 basketball team, maybe slightly over.
Not as bad as they were at their worst, not as good as they were at their best.
Right.
I think was
And
the
it's
direct
definitely
Right.
disheartening coming off of these two
Lukewarm takes, we
most
will.
recent games. You played like ass with no effort against the Nuggets, a very good team in the West that blows you out. You get 2 more days to recover from that, to bounce back from that. We heard a lot from Billy and some of the, the leader kind of players on this team after that terrible effort to say, how do we come back from that?
Yeah.
And then you play like that tonight?
Yeah.
I'm concerned tonight. Okay. I'm disheartened. I'm concerned. I'm worried. Clearly, I've thrown a lot of hats. But I'm trying my best to not go full on, blow it up, fire Billy, playoffs are not happening, because that's crazy.
It's a little
In my
crazy.
opinion, right now, that's crazy.
And I think the East being so bunched up also is another reason why I'm chilling. Like, guys are still figuring it out too. Everybody had Cleveland in the NBA Finals when they started out 8-1. They've lost 5 straight. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a long season, man. Like it's just a long season. And I'm not in the freak out business this early, 15 games in, bro. Like it's just way too early. And I still don't know who this team is yet. Like they still are trying to find out their identity. And the only identity I've seen, like you keep saying, Will, is, DeMar's here goes the ball and go score. There's another identity there. And I'm just waiting to see it and how it comes out. I'm waiting to see the adjustments that are going to be made because I'm telling you, Billy is going to make those. And it's funny, again, just to touch on that point, that was being said earlier about Billy Donovan and adjustments. It was one of my biggest flaws about him, man. When we won Locked On, I talked about that. And I said, well, my biggest thing was about his adjustments in the playoffs, but it's not something I was worried about at the time. I was like, because the Bulls don't even know how to walk yet.
And for the record, I actually liked the adjustments that he made in the Bulls playoff series.
Yes, that's what I was getting to. Because I was telling him, dude, I didn't care then. You know what I mean? I was like, they don't know how to walk. I'm not worried about running yet. You know what I mean? It's not my concern. And once they got to the playoffs and we saw the adjustments he made because of the team that they had, you know what I'm saying? And the adjustment he had to make to get a win. Actually could have had 2 wins against Milwaukee, which was crazy. Which winning was like winning a playoff series. Winning one of those games like winning a playoff series. So I saw the adjustments that he made there. I had issues earlier this season with adjustments he was making in the fourth quarter or lack thereof adjustments that he was making. But overall, a million times I've said he's not beholden to any lineup. That's an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's not scared of change and not scared of trying new things. That is definitely an adjustment. Those are things I didn't see him do previously. Now I'm seeing him do here in Chicago. And so, yeah, I'm cool with Billy Donovan. I don't know why everybody losing their mind about getting him rid of and fire and all this other stuff. That's wild to me. But, man.
The thing that I always come back to when I ask myself that same question, Dave, is that when I'm struggling to understand how some Bulls fans think when they, after a couple of bad games, are saying this team sucks, they're not going anywhere, blow it up, throw in the towel, not making the playoffs, fire the coach. It all stems from fans who are passionate about winning and want nothing more than to win. And that is the greatest thing about this fan base, is that there are a bunch of Bulls fans out there who care as much as we care and are frustrated when this team does not perform up to the standards that this iconic franchise has set for themselves.
Fair point.
And, hey, sorry, Jerry, Michael's long retired, but we still want championships. So deal with that.
It's only been 25 years, man.
Dude.
6 of them things.
6 of them things. I want 6 more.
I do.
I want 6 more.
I want more.
But no, I'm not throwing in the towel on a season when the Bulls have 2 games back of a playoff spot and 67 to play. And if you think that that's overly optimistic of me, okay, cool. Call me overly optimistic. Most Bulls fans who don't like me think I'm too pessimistic.
I'm about to say, words I've never heard about.
There it is. All right. Hopefully the Bulls can bounce back in a big way. They got Orlando in town
magic
on Friday after they are off tomorrow. That is a game you got to win.
Again, I still think that's going to be a tough one because of the size differential in that one. That is a long, tall team, man, for real. And former Bulls players usually play well when they come back and play, because Wendell always has played well against the Bulls when he's gone against his former team. So it should be interesting to see. But, yes, I want some fire from the Bulls. That's what I want. I want some fire, dog. Like, I want that effort. I want it. Dude, I want the fire from the beginning. I want it. Fight somebody. I don't care. I want the fire, yo.
I think we've probably hit an hour now, so we maybe want to talk about this another time. But, like, what do you guys make of the fact that they have had such little energy in so many straight games, and all they've done is talk about, oh, we're going to come out with energy. Just wait and see.
It's weird. Like you said, they see it, they know it. Okay, let's do it, and then no. And that's weird because it's not like saying, yo, we need to get up more shots or, we need to play better D or something. We're just saying come out with some energy. You know what I'm saying? Some show us you're alive kind of situation. And
watch.
That's and that's something that's internal. That's something you control. Like you can do that just by playing hard. You know what I mean? And doing stuff like that. Now, I think there are a couple guys that have turned up their energy a little bit. Honestly, I think Patrick Williams' energy has been better in these past few games. I really do. But overall, just as the starting unit, man, it's like once those teams start going on those big old runs like that, their energy just dissipates and it goes away. And it's like, well, we tried the energy thing. So DeMar, everybody, DeMar,
It's the
okay.
absolute failing in adversity.
Yeah.
And this is what we've talked about. You mentioned it a couple times today already. Like, when something bad happens, they shut down. And when they shut down, they resort to DeMar, and that's it.
Yeah.
And, like, Billy has done nothing but talk about why that's not going to work and what the team needs to do in order to not let that happen.
Since last year.
Which is why I place no blame on Billy for any of this stuff. Like, he is the one that gets it. He's trying to coach into these guys, but at a certain point, like, he's the one that's, like, trying to build the system. He's the one that's, like, trying to get buy-in. He's the one that's giving the message. But, like, you can't force people to do anything.
I agree, but I don't think anybody is absolved of blame when it comes to losing as a team. Everybody gets a piece. If everybody gets a piece when you win, everybody gets a piece when you lose.
Fair enough.
I'm done.
Fair enough.
He's done.
I'm done.
He's finished. You want to throw that one more? You good?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. All kinds of opinions are always welcome, even after a tough loss like that.
All of them, guys.
Group therapy. It's needed.
Yes.
Needed on nights like this for us in Bulls Nation.
Yes.
You can always follow us on Twitter, Bulls_PacBal, BAWL Sports, Will_Gottlieb, at Joey Spathis, our great producer.
Yes.
CHGO_Bulls. Hit that thumbs up before you head out of here, please, and thank you. Really helps us out a lot. And check out all of our wonderful friends and sponsors who we told you about on tonight's show.
Ricardo.
Promo code CHGO all over the place.
Matt,
and
Will,
keep your eyes open for an
Darius.
announcement from us tomorrow morning.
Big announcement dropping tomorrow. 10 a.m. Chicago time, I believe.
Love you too, Scott.
Thank you. Y'all, we are off tomorrow,
Power
as are
up.
the Bulls. We will be back for pregame before Bulls Magic Friday night to lead y'all into your weekend.
Guys, if you need a new basketball team, by the way, Texas Longhorns are beating Gonzaga by 25. So
I'm an Illini fan, so I'm
go
good.
check it out.
Hook 'em horns, yeah.
Well,
Joey,
we had some sad
Will,
Bulls fans tonight.
Big Dave, and our guy Mark Down Under. I'm Peck. Appreciate y'all, Bulls Nation.
Thank you,
Love
Wyatt.
ya. We'll talk to you Friday. See Red, be good.
Tone.
Do better, Bulls.
Peace.